Hello everyone, I am Dr. Rohan Khandelwal, your marrow surgery faculty. And I have the pleasure of introducing Dr. Ashwin to all of you, who secured a score of 240 in the recently conducted FMGE exam. This time, the pass percentage in the FMGE exam has gone up dramatically, and we have seen that students, particularly from Ukraine and China, where they had faced a lot of adversity during COVID and because of the war, they've done exceedingly well and have scored a lot of scores above 200. So, heartiest congratulations, Dr. Ashwin. And I mean, we all are so proud of you. And, listening to your journey, the troubles which you faced once the war started and how you came back to India, it's truly inspiring what you've done in this 1 year.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
So why don't you tell us some more about yourself? Where did you graduate from? When did you graduate? And when did you start using your primary source of preparation?
Okay, sir. I graduated from Kharkiv National Medical University, Ukraine. I graduated on August 12th, 2022. So yeah, sir, I was in Ukraine during the war as well. And talking about the preparations I had, I took the Marrow Plan C during my 5th year. And I started with the non-clinical subjects first, and then I shifted to the clinical subjects. Marrow is my primary source of preparation, and I guess Marrow helped me in a huge amount of way in having a grip on the concepts.
Perfect. So you utilized Marrow for 2 years before you appeared for the exam. And you said you
Yes.
initially started with the preclinical subjects and then you moved on to the clinical subjects. So did you watch the videos for all 19 subjects, or for certain subjects you just watched the revision videos as well?
So for mainly all the non-clinical subjects, I watched all the videos, and for some short subjects, I tried to complete it. But when I was not able to do that, I had to shift to the revision videos. But for surgery, obs-gyna, radio, dermatology, yeah, I watched all those videos completely.
Perfect. So, because you've seen all 19 faculties, anyone who strikes a chord with you and whom you particularly like or you would like to tell the users?
Sir, I am a really big fan of yours. I cannot deny.
Thank you.
Like you're my inspiration. I always know you're the person that I kind of look up to. So, very seriously.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. So, do you want to take up surgery in future? Does that mean you want to take up surgery?
I would really love to do that. I'll try my hard to get that.
That's great. I wish you all the best. I'm sure one hurdle is over, just one more left, and then you'll be able to become a surgeon. Great. Any other faculties whom you would like to mention?
Ma'am, Sakshi ma'am is very nice because obstetrics. I used to struggle in obstetrics, but she made the concepts very nicely. I can still remember she talking about all the positions and everything, and during the exams also it really helped me well because I could get to the answers within a minute. It was really helpful, sir.
No, I completely agree. Sakshi man is so exhaustive with her preparation. I've seen her preparing for a lecture, and I just wish I can get that kind of a dedication before preparing for a lecture. She's just amazing in that sense. So, Ashwin, I want to ask, this is something which troubles a lot of students, and we've got a lot of questions regarding this. How did you prepare medicine?
So medicine, that is a very interesting question, sir. Actually, for some topics, for example, cardio and neuro, I had to watch the entire thing, and then I had to prepare my own notes, and then for the shorts, like it was very lengthy. Actually, I would say so. Revision videos is what I suppose I usually watch the revision videos for medicine because I was not able to complete it. So revision videos was one of my key things that I used to prepare for medicine.
So, did you use Med80 or were you using the standard videos for medicine initially?
Initially I used all the standard videos, like the not the other ones which were lengthy, but during during half of my preparations I was not completely able to do all those things, so I shifted to the revision video so that I could spare some time for the revision as well.
Perfect. Now that you mention about revision, how did you go about revising? Because a lot of times with FMG students, we've seen that they lose focus. They've done the first reading, but we know without revision, you cannot succeed. So, what was your revision strategy which you would like to share with others?
So after the first revision, I had some confidence in taking a grand test and I took it. It was 220 something. Then I revised it
Wow.
again. It came around 240. Like I got this confidence on getting this, like trying to do the grand test when I revised it more. So obviously, sir, revision is the most important thing.
But how did you go about doing your revision?
So like it gets exhausting because we'll get the feeling that all these things you're doing it again and again. But I still see that perseverance is the key. So we have to do whatsoever it is, even if you're knowing the things. I used to revise it again and again so that it gets registered in your mind subconsciously. Because in the exam, time is what matters. So you
Mhm.
have to answer as soon as possible. So I used to do that, sir, and it helped me as well.
Perfect. So I agree. I mean, I personally feel that there should be no compromise on the first reading. And then when you're revising, at least two revisions you have to do if in order to succeed for any exam. So Dr. Ashwin, moving on to the Q bank, how did you optimize the usage of the Q bank while preparing for the exam?
So, like for Q banks, like I suppose in the first 2 months of my exam preparation, I was not confident enough. Like because after seeing the videos, I used to do the same topics, but then when I used to repeat it, I used to get five, six more questions wrong. So what I did was I used to see the questions once, and then after 2 months, I used to repeat the same questions again for the subjects. And then during my past 3 months, like before the exam, I used to do the custom modules and all the previous year questions, and it really helps. Like some questions from the PYQs was really reminiscent with the questions in the real exam. It really helps because we were able to come to the answer very easily.
So were you doing the FMG Q bank or the PG Q bank?
I did both, sir. Like in the first 3 months, I used to do the PG question banks as well. But during the last 1 month, I more concentrated on the FMG PYQs.
So Dr. Ashwin, on an average, how many questions were you doing on a daily basis?
Sir, I would say anywhere between 40 to 50. And during the last 1 month, I used to do 100 questions almost because I wanted to know how much time it takes for me to complete this. So I used to do 100 questions in the last 1 month.
Perfect. So I think so that makes sense. And another few students whom I'd spoken to yesterday, they also said the same thing that 40 to 50 was their average since the last 4, 5, 6 months, and in the last 2 months they amped it up to almost 100 questions a day, which is very important because you rightly said that it gives you that you sit at one place for 100 questions. You realize how much time it is going to take, whether mentally you get exhausted or not. It trains you for that as well. So I think it's a perfect strategy. Did you participate in any of the marathons as well?
No, sir.
Okay, perfect. And you said that you did grand tests, so you appeared for two FMG grand tests, and in both your score was above 200.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Almost same. I guess 7, 8 marks was the difference from my real marks.
Yeah, so I think so. Everyone, all students who are preparing for FMG, I encourage you to at least take 3 or 4 grand tests before the exam because it gives you a good indicator of where you stand. And because of the grand test analysis, the exhaustive analysis which Marrow shows, you will even get to know which are your weak subjects and you can focus on them.
Absolutely, yes.
Perfect. Any other features in the Marrow app which you really liked, which you would like to share with others?
Yes, sir. Like we could, bookmark the questions which has already been done, and we can use the pearls as well. I used to bookmark all the questions which were, which I used to make it wrong again and again. So in the past 10 days before my exam, I used to review it again and again so that if something comes from that, I could answer that. And there was, one particular question from dermatology. I think it was regarding psoriasis. The image itself came. Like I used to bookmark that, but the image also came in that exam. It was really helpful.
How did you revise the images? Because that's another question which FMG students ask that, how do you revise images in the last moment?
Sir, like images for surgery, I watch your videos. Like for surgery, I guess it was really registered in my mind with all the Humphreys knife and everything. It was really registered. And Sakshi ma'am also, had a dedicated session about this obstetrics instruments she used to teach us, and that was really helpful. And for anesthesia, I guess I had to take some other sources also, but I prepared from Marrow. Then I used to have a image based guidance book, and I sourced it from somewhere, so that was also helpful.
So, Dr. Ashwin, after talking to a lot of students, they told us that the Part B paper was very tricky, and they felt the questions were clinical. There was a lot of oncology asked in surgery also this time. So, do you feel that doing questions at your PG level and understanding concepts properly helped you to score even in that tricky section?
Yes, of course, because if you're able to know the concept of the exams, like the questions which are being asked, you'll be surely able to solve the questions. Like, yeah, in the second paper, more of onco surgery was being asked, but like when I came back and when I recalled all the questions which I answered, I guess from surgery I made 5 questions wrong, and it was like really I was really happy for that, because I thought I would have made many mistakes, but thankfully I made only 5 questions wrong. That was because I used to practice the questions on the PG level as well, and that is really helpful. So yeah.
Yeah, so I personally feel since the last two FMG exams, the clinical subjects, that is medicine, surgery, obs, gynae, and the other clinical subjects like ENT, optha, PSM, and these subjects, you really need to understand the concepts. Just last minute revisions will not work. And they are asking more conceptual and clinical questions. So anyone who's preparing for the exam in the next 6 months should focus on these subjects and do them really well.
Sir, of course, like revisions are the key, as I've mentioned. But as you have said, concepts. If you're able to register the concept and then do the revisions, it will be much more effective.
I think so. These concepts are going to stay with you forever. So even when you start preparing for PG now, you're not going to forget the concepts. So,
Yes.
what are the future goals, Ashwin? Will you start preparing for PG along with your internship? What have you
Yes.
decided?
Yeah, yes, that's my goal, sir. I'll try to prepare for the PG, but now ongoingly we've been told that we have to do 2 years of internship, and
Correct.
we have get into an internship as soon as possible. I'll try to manage to prepare for PG as well in between.
Yeah, I think so. That is another tricky thing which has come up, the 2 year internship for FMG students. So I think so by the time you finish that, next probably would be in place.
Yeah,
So we wish you all the best, Ashwin. Thank you for taking out time and talking to us. And heartiest congratulations. And I can't wait to talk to you again once you become a surgeon.
thank you so much, sir.